Today, I am going to take up the topic the ear and its working mechanism. We have a pair of ears. The ears perform two important functions. One is hearing. We listen to various types of sounds with the help of our ears. The second thing is about equilibrium or balancing. The ears, especially the inner ear, which is known as membranous labyrinth, helps in maintaining equilibrium. Now, coming to the ear, there are three important parts. They are external ear or outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear or labyrinth. This is the external ear from here to here. The external ear has again two parts. Pinna, this is pinna. The function of pinna is to collect sound waves. Then this canal, the pinna opens into a canal known as external auditory meatus. The external auditory meatus conducts the impulses to the tympanic membrane. The tympanic membrane is also known as eardrum. It is present between the external ear and the middle ear. Inside the external auditory meatus, we find fine hair-like structures, and also ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands to secrete ear wax or cerumen. The hair and cerumen help in trapping bacteria and also dust. So they prevent the bacteria and dust entering the middle ear. So the tympanic membrane acts as a barrier. The tympanic membrane, I have told you, separates the external and middle ears. The tympanic membrane or the eardrum is made of connective tissue. It is made of connective tissue and covered externally by skin and internally by mucous membrane. Whenever the sound waves arrive through the external auditory meatus, the eardrum vibrates to and fro and conveys the sound waves to the ear ossicles. Then this is the middle ear from here to here. In the middle ear, there is a chain of three bones known as ear ossicles. They are called malleus, incus, and stapes. They are also commonly known as hammer, anvil, and instep. Malleus is attached to the tympanic membrane. Incus is the middle piece, and stapes is attached to the oval window of the inner ear. Then the middle ear is connected to the pharynx through a tube known as Eustachian tube. Eustachius tube. Eustachius tube serves one very important function. It helps in maintaining equal pressure on either side of the tympanic membrane. Otherwise, what happens? If this is closed and if a loud sound comes here, the eardrum may rupture or break. So whenever a loud noise is expected, usually we observe, we close our ears and automatically open our mouth. As a result, the pressure is maintained almost equally on either side of the eardrum and it is protected. It is a safety mechanism. Then, from here to here, this is the inner ear or labyrinth. Actually, it looks like this. I will draw this figure for better understanding of its mechanism. The inner ear has two parts, bony labyrinth and membranous labyrinth. Bony labyrinth is a system of channels of bone filled with fluid known as perilymph. The bony labyrinth is a system of channels filled with perilymph. The membranous labyrinth remains within these bony channels and it is filled with another type of fluid known as endolymph. Then, the membranous labyrinth is very important for listening or hearing and also for equilibrium. So it is well protected in the bone. Then, the membranous labyrinth has again two parts, cochlea and vestibular apparatus. This is cochlea. Cochlea is very long in mammals and it is coiled like a watch spring. It's coiled like a watch spring. If you stretch the cochlea, it looks like this. I will come to this part after some time. So this is the cochlea, and above the cochlea we find this part. This part is known as vestibular apparatus. The vestibular apparatus has saccule, atricle, and three semicircular canals. These are the three semicircular canals. The three semicircular canals are arranged in such a way that they remain at right angles to each other. This is at right angles to this one, this is at right angles to this one, like that. Each semicircular canal has a swollen part known as ampulla. The swollen part is known as ampulla. I will deal the function of these saccule, atricle, and the ampulla later. First, let us take up the function of cochlea. I have already told you, cochlea is a spirally coiled. It is like a watch spring, is spirally coiled, and if you stretch it, it looks like this. Only in this way you can understand its function and structure clearly. If you take cross section somewhere here, it appears like this. So already I have told you, there is a oval window to which the stapes is attached. Below the oval window, there is another window known as a round window. These are named after their structure. Oval window is oval in shape, round window is round in shape. So here you find three tubes. This upper one is known as scala vestibuli or vestibular tube. This is middle one. It's known as scala media or middle tube. This is the ventral one, scala tympani. Like that, there are three tubes known as scala vestibuli, scala media, and scala tympani. Scala vestibuli and scala media are separated by a membrane known as Reissner's membrane. So Reissner's membrane separates scala vestibuli from scala media. Similarly, separating the scala media and scala tympani, there is another membrane, this membrane. This membrane is known as basilar membrane. Then, on the basilar membrane, there are some sense organs. These are known as organs of Corti. Organs of Corti, they are very important. They help in hearing the sounds. If you take a section of the cochlea here somewhere, it looks like this. This is the scala vestibuli filled with perilymph. This is scala tympani filled with again perilymph. And this is scala media filled with endolymph. So this tube is filled with endolymph, and whereas this one and this one are filled with perilymph. On the, I told you this membrane is known as the basilar membrane. This membrane. This is the basilar membrane. On the basilar membrane, there are groups of sensory cells known as hair cells. They are known as hair cells. The hair cells are provided hair-like structures on their free surface. These hair-like structures are actually known as stereocilia. Stereocilia. They resemble cilia. It's a misnomer. They resemble cilia, but there is no similarity between cilia and stereocilia. Stereocilia are actually like microvilli, as we come across in the small intestine. They are tubular structures. These stereocilia, they resemble microvilli. They do not possess the 9+2 microtubular system as we come across in the cilia. The microtubules are absent. And the stereocilia also do not arise from basal ganglia. Then, the stereocilia are hollow and they are stiff. So these are microvilli. Sorry, these are stereocilia. Just above the stereocilia, there is a thin membrane known as tectorial membrane. Tectorial membrane. This is very important. So sound waves, they travel like this through pinna, external artery meatus, tympanic membrane, then bony chain, and they enter the cochlea through the oval window. Then travel like this. And enter scala tympani. When the sound waves enter the scala tympani, what they do? They cause vibrations in the basilar membrane, in this membrane. They cause vibrations in the basilar membrane. When they cause the vibrations, what happens? The hairy cells, they move up and down. When they move upwards, the stereocilia come into contact with the tectorial membrane. When they come into contact with the tectorial membrane, what happens? The stereocilia bend and they generate action potentials. So bending of the stereocilia is a stimulus, and this stimulus results in the generation of action potentials. These action potentials travel through the hairy cells, enter the branches of optic nerve, branches of the artery nerve, and they go to the brain where the sounds are deciphered. So in this way, the organs of corti help in hearing the sounds. That is the function of cochlea. Then coming to the other part, vestibular apparatus. As I have told you, it has two parts. There are three semicircular canals and also otolith organ. This structure is called otolith organ. It has again two parts, atrial and saccule. The semicircular canals, atrial and saccule, are also filled with endolymph. Actually, they are connected to this one. That's why I have drawn like this. All of them are in contact with the scala media. So, scala media and these structures all are filled with only endolymph. In the ampulla of semicircular canals, there are sense organs known as the crista ampullaris. Crista ampullaris. Then, in the atrial and saccule, there are sense organs known as macula. Sense organs called macula. They serve different functions. The crista ampullaris present in the crista of the semicircular canals are concerned with rotational movements. When you go around ourselves, what happens? It causes rotational movement. So, the crista ampullaris detect rotational movements and help in equilibrium. When it's coming to the sacral and ventricle, they have sense organs known as macula. Remember, the macula also composed of hairy cells. These maculae are concerned with two types of movements: vertical movements and horizontal movements. Vertical movements and horizontal movements, and they help in balancing the body. So, the crista ampullaris present in the ampullae detect rotational movements, whereas the macula present in sacral and ventricle detect vertical and horizontal movements and help in balancing the body. So in this way, the ear carries out two functions: hearing and equilibrium or balancing. So that is about the structure and functioning of the ear in human beings. Thank you.